Good morning. We are in Missoula, Montana, and I am going to start driving. I washed my windshield, so it looks a little bit cleaner. Yeah, last night my windshield was frickin' dirty. Holy cow. This is a beautiful part of our country, Montana. I've always kind of felt a weird affinity for Montana. And since it's been so wet recently, it's super green, so like the mountains look like we should be in a more tropical area, but we're not. It is, what time is it? 8 in the morning. I didn't get a full 10-hour break, but I still have 3.5 hours from last night, and that's should be enough to get me all the way to Spokane, which is where I am delivering. But I actually checked, and my delivery's not until like 4 p.m. tonight, so I was like, there's no point in waiting. I'm almost gonna have a whole reset anyway, so I'll just use the hours I have now and figure it out later, you know? So we are entering Missoula. The truck stop that I stayed in last night is about 4 miles behind me. It's kind of like in a canyon, which is really cool. But you come out here and then you come into Missoula. There's Montana University, or University of Montana, right off to the left. Missoula is actually a pretty decently sized town, I think, for the area. But it's really cool because it's like this decently sized city in like a mountain pass. So it's not a very big valley, but a bunch of people live here. And it's kind of the center for, I don't know, if you watch the movie, or the TV series Yellowstone. Fun fact, most of that movie and that TV show was, gosh, my stupid radar, it will not shut up. That van is like really far ahead. Anyways, if you watch the TV series Yellowstone, I believe like most of the filming there was actually done in Utah. And all of the scenes where they were in Bozeman, Montana and Missoula, Montana, they were actually in downtown Ogden, Utah. So, you know, kind of cool fact, you know. I don't want to ruin the show for you if you think that it's this absolutely true, or like it was filmed on location or whatever. But yeah, most of that TV series was filmed in Utah. Now, I don't know what's going on with Kevin Costner. I don't know if they renewed for another season. I don't think they did. But for a while they were saying that like the next season that was going to come out was actually going to be filmed in Montana, which that's always a hard thing to do, because they had the ranch is down in Utah. All of the scenes that you're familiar with are down in Utah. Now you got to find a new scene up in actually Montana or Idaho somewhere. You know, it's hard to keep the momentum when you're switching up the scenery like that. But I don't know. It was a fun show. I didn't mind it. You know, obviously all the girls that watch the show, they love Rip, the guy that's always wearing black and the big black cowboy hat that beats the crap out of everybody. Oh man, he could have done so much better than her, but the only reason he stuck with her is because she had all the money. Oh shoot. I feel bad, it's been like a year since we watched the show. I don't remember the name of any of the characters, but the crazy daughter, yeah, she's dating Rip, who's the farmhand who's worked his way up to being the head, and he just beats the crap out of everybody, and it's awesome, but not reality for sure. But yeah, I love Montana. Honestly, I could see myself living in Montana someday. The winters can be pretty rough, just so you know, especially if you're even further north than here. The winters can be pretty rough if you're stuck in a mountain pass somewhere. But, you know, you get some phenomenal scenery driving through. And I'm going to go down what, in my opinion, is one of the most beautiful... there's a truck on the side of the road. I'm going to get over. In my opinion, what is one of the most beautiful passes. I'll see how much I want to record without making this an hour-long YouTube video. But I'm going to be going the pass that goes from... shoot, what's the name of the town? It's like you're going through the I90. You're going through the panhandle, the very top of Idaho. So you go through Idaho for like 20 miles. I guess it's more than that. But you go from Montana to Idaho to Washington within like 50 miles. And that is one of the most beautiful passes, in my opinion, that you can drive through. If you're really looking for a good pass to drive through, take I-90 from Spokane, Washington to Missoula. beautiful drive. It's not as fun to do it in a semi-truck in the middle of winter. I've done it before a couple times. But yeah, this is one of my favorite ways to go. Because because we're kind of on a high elevation right now. I don't know what our elevation is here. But you go from here down to Spokane. So, anyways. Alright. We are a little bit past Missoula now. I'm looking at my phone right now while I'm driving, and it doesn't do it justice, I don't think, to the area that I'm driving in. I'm going through the St. Regis. Is that where I'm going? Or like Superior, Montana. I think that's coming up in a little bit. Yeah, this is a phenomenal view you get coming this way. Maybe it's just because of the stark contrast if you're coming through like Idaho and Utah where there's no trees. But you know, you're coming up freaking I-15 to I90 and there's like no trees around, and then all of a sudden, boom. I mean, because you're there, I don't know, like that mountain off in the background. I don't know, man. Beautiful area. So. Well, I can't listen to my podcast right now anyways because I have no cell service, so I might as well be recording more dash cam footage. Coming up here, I don't think my phone I've got my phone down here on my dash, but it's not giving me the best angle, I don't think. Chain up area, so glad I don't have to do that. I swear, I have been going through construction since frickin' Butte, Montana. This whole way, I-15, I-90, like, and I'm stuck behind this frickin' van that's going 25 miles an hour. Not quite, he's going 35, but still, move it, dude. Alright, so we are now coming into Idaho. Where's my... There we go. Engine brake is on, because I'm coming down now through into Coeur d'Alene. Oh yeah, there you go. Still, I don't think you're getting a very good view from my phone. But this is one of my favorite passes to come down. Now, going eastbound, you do not want to go this way. If you're super heavy coming from Spokane or Seattle, this is not a fun way to go because you're going up. This is a pretty steep mountain I'm going down right now. It's better to go east heavy, or no, go west heavy. There's a turnout there. I'm still pretty high up. I'm on the top of the hill still. Yeah, it's better to go west into Washington heavy, and it's better to come home. Well, for me, home, but coming out of Washington, it's better to be light because you're going uphill pretty significantly. But we're now in Idaho, and we will only be in Idaho for a little bit. So, yeah. Beautiful pass, though. This is definitely road trip worthy. If you can make it over here, there are plenty of hiking areas that you can go. Amazing scenery. This particular strip coming downhill is pretty dangerous in the winter because it gets super windy. The wind coming through the canyon will ice over the roads, and it's not fun coming down this pass in the winter, especially if there was a storm recently. Even if they snowplow the roads, because of how windy you can get here in the canyons, it always ices over the pass. And yeah, do it if you can afford to. Do it in the summer. Don't do it in the winter right after a storm. But with that said, the mountains do look a lot more spectacular when they've got snow on them, so you do get a different set of scenery if you're coming during the winter. But yeah, truck runaway ramp. All right. I can't even see the tops of those little hills. Well, if I don't lean forward, so just looking at my dash. Wow. Driving along the river now. We've come out of whatever that hill was that we came down, but we're still in a canyon going downhill. So, turning my cruise control up a little bit now. But, yeah. all the trees. It really smelled like you can smell the sap in the pine and nature. I love this area. Oh, I could totally live here in Montana if it wasn't for being so far away from everything else and the horrible winters. I guess that the winter's not too bad to me. I can survive the winter, but it is a little bit of a burden. I think we are almost down to Post Falls, which is just basically Post Falls, Idaho is just the side of Spokane that's on the Idaho border. But yeah, really curvy, really narrow going down the hill. There's a little bit more traffic on the road now. But yeah, almost off the mountain, and then we will be in Post Falls, Coeur d'Alene. Coeur d'Alene is a beautiful area. There's a lot of lakes up here, natural lakes. It's a very big resort area, so. We are now in Coeur d'Alene. There's a couple lakes over there. I can't really see them from the road. A couple buildings over there. Yeah, beautiful area.
Here into the dirt lot. But I don't know how I didn't notice this a second ago. Here, let me move over so you can see this. Look at that frickin' Kenworth. Oh crap, I can't zoom any more than that. I guess what year that is, man. That looks like a 1970 or 80. That's an old frickin' truck over there. Golly, that's kind of cool. But yeah, I got a number. That truck that's ahead of me, the green truck, he was kind of being rude to the scale house guy, and his appointment's for 2, which it's now 2. I sat over there for a half hour while they tried to check me in. But yeah, he was kind of rude. So maybe they'll let me in before him. We'll see. I don't. Just kidding. They probably won't. But yeah. So I got this. He'll call me when he's got a door, I guess. I am thoroughly convinced that Albertsons hates drivers. Somebody lost their mud flat back here. Seriously, it has been way too long. I've been here for freaking ever. Okay, this is starting to get ridiculous. It is now 8 o'clock. Almost 4 hours past my appointment time. I waited, I took a 3-hour nap. I tried to go back. They said the door wasn't ready, which is so I hate that when they say the door's not ready. Like if you go to deliver at a distribution center, they've got like 300 doors and they only use like 10 of them. I don't know. It is a pretty old facility. I've never been to this specific Albertsons in Spokane, Washington, but I've been to several others. They're all horrible. They all have lumpers. They all were built 100 years ago. Oh man. Yeah, so it goes. I'm waiting because they send you a text. It has a code, and you go back to the gate. You put the code number in. Anyways, it's a big freaking deal. My appointment was 4:30. They didn't call me into the yard. Like they won't even let you in the yard. They didn't call me into the yard until 6:30, which 2 hours after my appointment. Even though I technically checked in at like 1 o'clock. Whatever, so I took a power nap. I'm feeling pretty good. I might just drive all the way home and figure out my logs along the way. So anyways, yeah, it's been a pretty intense day. My baby, my truck, the first sleeper truck I bought, Esmeralda, blew a radiator this week. So yeah, that's been fun logistically trying to figure it out. The driver it's kind of a double-edged sword because the driver, not only is he under a current load where they're like, obviously the brokers are going to say what they're going to say, but they're going to charge me for late fees or whatever. Maybe not. I've been dealing with them all day, been dealing with the shop. But not only that, he's on a power only load, so he has to return the trailer to Utah. So I'm dealing with 2 brokers, and I don't know, man. It's life, but for the most part, that truck's actually been doing pretty good. And I was actually really worried because the sister truck, so we bought Esmeralda, and then we bought 2 more trucks that are blue, spec to the exact same. Well, the sister truck at that exact same mileage, 650,000 miles, needed an overhaul. Esmeralda is still running strong, 650,000 miles original engine, transmission, differentials, rear ends. So he said he was having a coolant leak, and occasionally it would blow, it would smoke, but he couldn't see where it was coming from. Turns out the radiator was overpressurized. It was, you have to, the thing with radiators is radiators are typically cheap. Like an aftermarket radiator is like $1,000, but labor is like almost $2,000. So it's more expensive to put a radiator in than the radiator itself. So they had to do that. They had to redo the pressure relief valve because that was plugged. But the engine's good. They said it passed a compression test, so it's holding pressure. Anyways, he's moving now, but it's been a long day and a half. He's been stuck. The load that he's on right now, it's going to be so close on time. The brokers at first were like, well, you have to get it there by 6. I mean, originally he was supposed to deliver the load yesterday at 10 in the morning. But I called the brokers and they're like, oh, it's no big deal. And then this morning when I was in Missoula, Montana, they were like, oh, it's a huge deal. Huge deal. You got to be there by 6. It's Walmart you're delivering to. They're going to be super strict. I'm like, what? Okay. They're like trying to find somebody else to pick up the trailer and deliver the load, or they were saying like, it's Walmart, so it could be up to $1,500 in late fees. But like the load only pays $2,000. Like, okay, either way I'm losing. But I was like, sure, whatever, repower the load, just get it to Walmart. They couldn't find anyone to repower the load, and so we're still on it. They're now saying they've changed it from a live unload to a drop appointment, and as long as he's there before midnight, which I don't think he's actually going to be there before midnight, they won't consider it late. They'll pay us the full amount. And I have email proof of this. That's what the broker said. But he's probably going to be about a half hour late. He'll get there like right after midnight because the truck, it took them 6 hours longer to do it than they said it would. But whatever. I'm pretty impressed they got it in that fast. They replaced a radiator in a day and a half. And, typically if you go to an OEM shop, they're like 4 days out maximum, so, or minimum, whatever. So that's what I was dealing with today, as well as taking my nap, invoicing some loads. I booked a couple loads. Man. You wonder why. You wonder why. You wonder how owner-operators survive. I don't know how single owner-operators survive. It is not easy out there. That would have been really bad if I had 2 overhauls that we had to do in like 2 months. But whatever. So the truck's running. He's actually, once he gets unloaded at Walmart, we're both going to the same place to get reloaded and go home. So I might see him. I'm probably going to beat him. Well, I should have already been out of here. I should have already been on my way home. But frickin', I'm still here at Albertsons. And I bet it's going to be another 2 hours because even though I've been in the dock for 2 hours, they just barely started unloading me. Oh, he just got in the trailer. Okay, that's good, I guess. But it's Albertsons, so after you get in the dock, it's like a minimum 3.5 hours after you get in the dock. And I was already 2 hours after my appointment, so I don't know. Oh my gosh. I hate it. Why do I book these loads going to places that I hate? Ugh. Okay, guys. Stay warm, especially if you're in the south. I know there's bad weather right now, storms. It's pretty windy here, but I mean, it was raining when I was in Idaho yesterday, but it's pretty dry here. It's just super, super windy, which is not good for fuel economy. I'm sitting at about 8.2 miles per gallon for this trip, which is pretty good considering I just went through Montana. But I did have a light load of cereal, so I'm hauling freaking this stuff. Cereal. Okay, enough rambling. Video's done. See you guys in the next video.